All right, all right. I don't know if we're live yet. I guess it's redirecting. So cool. It does look like we're live. Awesome. So what is up, guys? I am really excited for this training. This is going to be a training video. I'm really excited for it. This has been the video that a lot of you guys have been waiting for. We've had a gap in our training because I've completely pivoted how we're doing these trainings. So for now, I'm just going to be talking to you on screen. You may notice some of the older videos had to document stuff. I'm not doing that anymore. But I'm going to be talking to you on the screen, and this is going to be a training that's going to address so many problems because it fundamentally uncovers the error in how we are how we are as human beings. Like, there's nothing wrong with us as human beings. There's nothing wrong with how we think. There's nothing wrong with how we are, but we're holding ourselves to the standard of a computer or some kind of machine when we should be treating ourselves like human beings. Human beings that can't handle a lot of information at once. Human beings that make up story in order to have meaning. And human beings that ultimately try their best and don't always get what they want and always want more than they have. Nothing's wrong with these things except what you bring to the table about how things should go. Things, and these things that you believe about how they should go cause you to be burnt out. They cause you to be overwhelmed. They cause you to be overloaded. They cause you to not care, be apathetic. They cause you to become a victim. I say become, not choose to become. They cause you to be angry and resentful and all these things. So today I want to talk to you guys about how to 37x your productivity in 365 days in 1 year, and how you can easily see that progress in just a couple of weeks. I also call this training how to tackle the big stuff without becoming a burnt out, overloaded zombie, and you'll see why by the end. So here's a question. Are you into being a burnt out zombie? Most of the time, you're not, right? Most of the time, being a burnt out zombie means that you have no energy, that you can't move, that you need a day to recuperate, or you need to just break commitments and disappear because you're feeling overloaded. You can't take in any more information. You're upgrading, you're up leveling. All these things are logical, rational reasons why you are doing what you're doing. But ultimately, you're doing what you're doing because you're a burnt out zombie. Now, we can all go through phases of this. We can be burnt out for 2 days out of the week and come back strong. But the truth is, by using the techniques and tactics I'm going to go over in this video, you will be able to not have this happen. You will be able to modulate your energy and trust that things will come to form. This lesson is going to show you how you can 37x your impact, easily identify what gets in the way, and have two key practical strategies, two key approaches to this that can make it, not only make it happen, but stop the crap from happening. So what are these zombies I talk about, this overload, overwhelmed zombie sort of persona, right? Simply put, these are the shadowy, thought it was dealt with, frustrated, overloaded kind of things. They siphon from your well of willpower that allow you to function, but when you have no energy, you can't function. They're also completely invisible to you. So it's really easy to say, oh, going out to the store really burnt me out. No. The straw that broke the camel's back is never about that straw. It's about all the other straws that were on the camel's back. So these zombies, as we call them, keep you from being able to feel good, keep you from being able to do what you want or even need to do, keep you from keeping an integrity with commitments and communications, and keep you from feeling full and fulfilled all of the time. without having to retreat into a cocoon, or without having to just feel like you're constantly burnt out, or without having to motivate yourself from adrenaline. So if you're wondering if this applies to you, if you have any kind of overload, any kind of overwhelm, any emotional resistance like ODD or RSD, if you don't know what those are, you probably don't have them. But trauma is something we all experience, especially social indoctrination trauma, which is a topic for an entirely different video. I'm actually going to make a note about that right now because I want to make a video on that for you guys. So trauma, if you have trauma, if you have any kind of distraction sensitivity like ADHD or OCD, or even resistance to taking impactful action in life. You know, somebody said to me, I don't know why I haven't done this really important thing. I just, whatever, I stopped listening after the I just, because it's not about whatever they believe the problem is. Right? It's about all the other things, and including these energetic zombies that create overwhelm. So we know this is NDs. We know this is neurodivergent people, people with autism or ADHD, because most molehills, most small things, most little bumps in the road feel like huge mountains. If you are wondering, rub your finger along your face. Or if you have a beard, put your finger in run your finger through your beard. How much bigger do things feel? Well, that is true for most neurodivergents, except it's their entire nervous system. Of course, we can say these things, we can address these things, we can talk about these things, but that doesn't change anything. Like, you make mountains out of molehills, I hear all the time. Oh, it's always black or white with you. I'm autistic, by the way, if you don't know that. It's all over the group. So, yeah, I do. And yes, it is. And no, it's not, but that is true because it's your perspective on what I'm doing. Rant aside, these issues aren't unique to NDs. The time, energy, overload, these energetic zombies, these things that take from our potential aren't true for NDs. But there is one truth. And that truth is that by doing what we're going to talk about here, you are orders of magnitude more effective than simply choosing to not address them, or simply choosing to avoid, right? So there's only two things. You can consider this a free lesson here. There are only two motivators in life. You're either running from something or running towards something. If you're running from something, you're going to find that you end up losing energy. You end up losing 97% of your energy a year when you do the math out. If you're running towards something, you can build 37 times, is that right? 37 times more energy versus 97% less. Now that might sound like you're losing more energy, but remember, 37 times is 33,700% versus 97. So you lose 97% of your energy or gain 3,776% of energy. Which would you rather have? We have to focus on improvement, right? So the secret here, and I'm going to get into it, is that time is more useful than just being late or procrastinating or being a cost or something we have to deal with. But before we get too much deeper, I want us all to do two things. And I'm going to guide us through them, obviously. One of them, let's just take 2 deep breaths. Yes, I know this is a Facebook Live. Yes, I know you're probably watching this casually, but I'm going to ask that no matter where you are, just take a second. Feel your body. Inhale through your nose, fill up your body. Notice the pressure that you create with a really deep inhale, and hold that pressure. And then slowly let it out of your mouth. And at the bottom, I want you to squeeze all of that out so that you feel the pressure from the outside. Squeeze all that out. Now, you could be anywhere doing this. Now, notice that pressure. Hold it. We'll breathe in one more time. You can breathe in more air if you can. It's nice to breathe into your belly first. And notice the difference. And let the air go. Notice the difference. Now, check in with yourself. This is the second thing. How do you feel? On a scale from 1 to 10, how do you feel? Do you feel overloaded? Do you feel overwhelmed? On a scale from 1 to 10, how do you feel? You'll see why this matters in just a second. So, get a number. Pause this video and get a number before you move on. Good. Now, if you've read the ND guide, if you haven't, put a message in the comments. Just put ND guide in the comments. If you haven't read it, I'll send it to you. If you've read the ND translation guide, you know about the table, right? You know that your ability to process is limited by your current perspective, like a shrinking table in the minds of socially indoctrinated eyes. If you've read that guide, you know about the checklist, you know about the scale. Meanwhile, bandwidth tax says that your ability to make intelligent decisions is inhibited by the quantity and quality of the decisions that you're focused on, and neuroscience tells you that there are biases that affect your perception and your memory. Now, if you're saying, what the hell did he just say? If I just lost you, and you feel like you have to pause and rewind the video to make sense of what I just said, forget about what I just said. I did it on purpose. I just created one of those zombies. I just created one of those zaps of your energy intentionally to show you what it feels like. And you are completely unaware that this happens day to day to day. How does it happen? I'm going to tell you. Don't believe me? What was your number before? Take another rating. Actually do it. What is the difference? I'm betting it's higher. That's lesson number 1. We need to focus. If we don't focus on our direction, we don't know when we deviate. If we don't know when we deviate, we're just chipping away at that 97 to 98% of badness and sacrificing the 3,776% improvement. Even if we have the best plan, even if we have the best ideas, even if we have the best systems, our lack of focus will ensure that you fail. It just will. You don't know when you deviate. How do you know when you improve? Why does this matter though? Because if that keeps happening, there's no way that anything I'm about to share with you will work, right? Focus isn't doing, focus is clarity. So even though we're 3,700, I said 76%, it's really 78%, but who cares? It's a tiny percentage, right? Even though we're 3,778% more effective by focusing on improvements versus simply 97% less effective if we focus on problems, we really do need to have a sense of the problems. I'm not going to put too much energy on this, but we need to know not only what it feels like from earlier, but how did I see it coming? Because you don't just want to know that you have a problem when you have a problem. So these are cognitive effects of things like, first, stopping before you invoke and incite improvements, right? If you're not stopping, or if you are stopping before you improve, you're doing the same. You're basically not improving. You're contributing. You're contributing to that 97% decline versus, and you're giving up the 3,000+%, right? So stopping. Next, we have to look at context switching. So switching why and how and what we're doing. And if we are, just keeping up with the comments here, if we are context switching, in other words, if I'm thinking about how I'm going to support my family, and then I start thinking about the fun I'm going to have, I am polarizing the two, just as I did earlier. If you want, when I'm done with this list, go back and rewind and take a look at how I did all of that. I jumped around a lot in that sentence, so your brain had to try to keep up. If you have to try to keep up, you're context switching. Scope switching, which is changing entirely different contexts. The difference between eating your food on a lunch break and having casual conversation about work versus being in the work. You're changing scope. You may not be changing context. We also employed long words. We also employed long words without some kind of central theme. Long sentences. I mentioned the ND guide, but who cares? I just went run on without a central point. You didn't know why I was saying what I was saying. There was no why. So context is the what, scope is the how. Without a why, there's no clarity. I also sped up. I sped up intentionally. Talking faster makes you, as the receiver, almost hold your breath. That's why we did the breathing. So back all the way up when I'm done if you have to. Using certain, uncertain, and ambiguous words, like maybe, might, or can. So I said, you know, or if you've read the ND guide, you should know, right? You should know about these things. You might know about these things. So now what you do is you stop and you wonder, do I know? So this is all ways to spot these zombies. This is all ways to spot our slowing down. Because if we have to context switch, if we have to scope switch, in other words, if we have to change our what, if we have to change our how, if we have to change how if we have to reparse or reanalyze what's being said, slow it down in our minds, or qualify ourselves, we're slowing down, we're taking away from focus. But the number one thing that takes away from focus is not improving. Generally, the things I've talked about, except for not improving, which are caused by a whole bunch of other things, are called cognitive biases, and they're weaknesses in our ability to perceive and keep up. So I was leveraging or stressing or using to my advantage for this lesson about 7 or 8 different cognitive biases, probably more, in that little paragraph that I told you to ignore. When this happens, it can take up to 15% of your 15%. What am I saying? I don't know why I wrote, like, I have notes in front of me and I wrote 15%. It could take up to 15 minutes to get back refocused. If you have to figure out what you're doing and how you're doing it and how deep in it you are and what all the pieces are, it takes a time. So every time you have time and energy zombies happening, every time you're allowing the distraction, or anytime you're not contributing to simply improving, and I'm going to talk about what improving looks like specifically, because it's so easy to shame ourselves into saying we need to be better, we need to be better. But as Americans, I can tell you that we are biting off far more than we can chew. So the trick isn't anything to do with what we're biting off or how we're biting it off. The trick isn't anything to do with doing less, right? It isn't anything to do with figuring out how to avoid our problems, how to get over our trauma or any of that. It's literally to just do 1% more, but sometimes that's not possible. So I'm going to get into some of this. I'm going to talk to you right now about how to maintain trajectory, how to maintain that focus so that you will get the 3,778% or 37 times more, right? So how do we do that? We have to do something. We have to take action, of course, not tons of action, but action that leverages or makes more inherently time, energy, and space. And the truth is, just 1% is enough. How much are you doing where you're trying to accomplish the whole thing? If I said, go increase your income by 3,778% today, yeah, notice your rating now. Notice your 1 to 10 rating now. But if I said, go increase your income by making 1% of what you make. So if you have $1,000, go find yourself $10. That's it. Find yourself $10. If you have 5 minutes of free time, figure out how to have 5.5. That's 1%. The thing is, this stuff is super simple. This 1%, and I'm going to get into some specifics, but this 1% could be something as simple as ensuring that we put eggs back in the fridge. Could be something as simple as taking out plastic wrap, for later. It could be something as simple as putting your water cup on the other side of the counter. But when you take that just a little bit more action, it compounds. And we've proven this by simple math. If you're a member with us or a client with us, I'll get into the math at the end of this, or it'll be a separate video in our mastermind. But it's proven by simple math. We are 98% more impactful when we focus on improving than we would be by applying the same amount of effort when we focus on not improving. So if we say, oh, I'll get to that later, we're giving up a difference. I'm just going to do some quick math right now. 3,778 minus 97. We're giving up a difference of 3,681% improvement. Just because we're deciding not to rather than deciding to. Here's the question to choose if this video is even for you. This is the ultimate question. So Robin, if you're listening, add this to our stuff because this is really important. Is your effort to not worth 3,681 times what it would take to just simply? Is it? Because if it's not, what are you doing? This lesson is going to go over how to 37 times your fulfillment. It's going to go over how to identify what stops you and the 2 key strategies to fix it. And we're going to get started right now. How to start. Pick a goal or direction. I'm going there. Whatever it is, I'm going there. I'm going there. I'm going there. It doesn't matter. Pick a goal. Choose the goal. Because we're dealing with a time frame for this of a year, let's make it as general as you want. But it does require a container. We do have to do something for the goal. It should have a palpable feeling. Feeling. What does it feel like when you arrive? It should have a palpable outcome, a distinct outcome, a unique and specific outcome. What will happen when it's done? What change will you see? Will you build a porch? Will you learn photography? Will you learn something? Will you do something? Will you build something? What's the outcome? In your head, some of us are better at this than others. In your head, create a visual to represent this idea, give it a name, and then let it go. Now, I'm not woo-woo manifesty. What I mean by let it go is that's all you need. Don't dig into specifics. Don't figure out the high and what's and who's and how's. Don't forget about it. But all you need is the feeling, the outcome, and the name. Why? Because your mind, your subconscious is going to be working on it for you. This is where we get things happen for you. Your subconscious just works for you. That's it. It's going to happen for you, not against you. The against you is because you're giving up the 37, whatever the heck percent. You're working against yourself by not going one step further. But I recognize there's some real things. So I just want to be clear here. I've been like drilling this in, but I recognize that there's some very real, very palpable, very in your body feelings and resistance. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But come up with this goal and let it go. Recognize when you're being distracted from that goal using what we just went over. And the first step is eliminate those distractions. And you can use these techniques to eliminate those distractions. Eliminating the distractions can still be that 1% effort. So from there, your subconscious is going to go to work for you. So recognize the changes that need to be made. In order to build that house, I need to have this blueprint. I need to have this plan. I need to learn how to this skill. I need to do this. I need to do that. It's not part of the plan. It is necessary. But don't plan it. Just recognize it. Identify the small things that need to change, right? You can notice those. If you're already in the state where you don't think you can accomplish goals, you might be saying to yourselves, well, if only or, if this was different, then this would be different. No problem. Let's reframe it. What kind of person does this thing that I want to be different all the time? That's the kind of person that you need to be. And to do that, we can use this same methodology. So I need to be the kind of person that goes to the store first thing in the morning to get my building supplies. All right, well, that's getting up early and everything that comes with it. That's a new goal. It's a shorter term goal. Let's apply the 1% rule. Remember, we can just move our cup to the other side of the counter. We can just set an alarm. We can do very, very, very small actions. But by compounding, time becomes the solution. We're not working against it. I'm going to say this again. 37 778% improvement versus losing 97. We don't need to do more. We need to trust that time does what it does. So, how do we do this? For things that aren't habits, it's easy. Realize that you stopped before you were done. The Marines say, when you feel resistance, you've only put out 30%. Tony Robbins says, if the IRS were to tax you an extra 10%, you wouldn't like it, but you'd have to pay it, and you would. In your personal life, you get to choose when things are done. But if something isn't done, you might use adrenaline to push you through. I do. I don't know about you guys. Is it healthy? No, but you can do it. If you're working out, that extra rep, right? You can always go further. If you're an analytical person, I'm going to give you an equation right now. You want to make sure, if you're going to use adrenaline to get you through to that next step, your adrenaline should be less. The amount that you use, or the energy, or the woof, should be less than, say, a 21, than something that will take you 21 days or less to complete. So if I have to use adrenaline to get up early, all right, I can get up early and learn a new habit. New habits take 21 days. So the adrenaline is worth it, because you do the math out, well, compounding for 21 days, you have the habit. You don't need to use adrenaline anymore. Now, I'm not saying you should always be using adrenaline. I'm saying you've done it. So don't give me the excuse, and don't give me the reason that you can't put plastic wrap on the other side of the counter. But there's still resistance. So if the situation that causes these things brings up a whole bunch of feelings in you and brings up a whole bunch of resistance, what we have to do is focus on the fact that the resistance is also a small project that we can start applying this 1% to. I'm in the habit of always clearing off my counter when I'm done cooking. I'm in the habit of walking past something, and if it needs to go into another room, I'll just move it like a foot, because when I walk past it on the other side, I can move it another foot. These habits matter, and we can analyze the cost of the habits and all that. But if you're not doing these things, there's no point in being critical of those who do. I'm not going to say more inspiring words about habits, but here's what I'll say. This video has been full of value on how to overcome overwhelm, how to overcome executive dysfunction, how to overcome time blindness, how to overcome planning problems, how to overcome a lot of things. And there's still other factors. So if you're somebody who wonders if you're creating a cost for other people, here's 2 things to consider. Don't request things that capitalize on others' time unless they express wanting them. In other words, hey, I see you're going to the trash. Can you bring this with you? Make that a habit. You're going to be costing them their 37,000%. Oh, hey, I see you're going in the kitchen. Do you mind getting me this? That's called imposed obligation, especially if they're not aware of these zombies, of this zombie concept. You would be creating a zombie for them, and that's you. Only add to somebody's table or only add to somebody's mental space when they're feeling abundant, when they've locked in the habit. There's a difference between, hey, I see you're going to the gym. Do you mind bringing and picking up this, this, and this on the way back? When it's a habit that they do every day with no resistance versus a habit they're trying to form. You have to consider how many other zombies they're dealing with and how difficult something is. Now, that might be interesting for some of you, because some of you might say, that's not my responsibility. Sure. Then why do you get mad at those who do it to you? You want consideration. Do you want to feel considered? Start with yourself. 1%, 1%, 1%. That's all you need. One small task. Doesn't have to be completing a project or working on a 5-hour-long thing. Take 5 minutes to tie my shoes differently. I can take 2 minutes to write one word of gratitude every hour. 2 minutes every hour. I spend more time than that scrolling on social media, right? 1%. That's all it takes. So if you're a client with us, if you're a member with us, we're going to put up a video in a few hours in our private VIP mastermind group called Volley. We're going to get into some very simple math that proves all this. So I'm not just making up these numbers. They're scientifically, well, mathematically proven. We're going to get into the very specific tactics that you can employ to remove all this lack of clarity around these points. Things like the dopamine matrix, things like the value hierarchy, things like decisions on demand. We're going to provide you a way to feel the best while you're moving through your day so that you can employ these habits or these new changes without any resistance. We'll tell you exactly where to put these adjusted things, exactly where to put these new habits, exactly where to put the 1%. We will tell you how to feel the best while you're moving through your day so that you can employ these habits without any resistance and address the zombies that you don't even know you have. Zombies beyond imposition, zombies beyond just resistance, zombies beyond emotions. No, there are psychological demons that are at play that will sabotage you. We call them blind spots. If you're working with us in Mindset Mastery, you already know this. Tell you what, guys, you know what? If you're not a member and you want to know about blind spots, shoot me a message. I will give you, for now, it may not be forever. Right now, today is November 18th, 2022. I will give you access to Messenger Mastery. That's a limited time offer. We will be charging for this soon. I want you guys to know about blind spots. They're the single biggest thing that holds you back. That's the only part of this that you'll get for free, though. Members get all the rest. Clients get all the rest. We give you a tool. I'm reading my notes. I'm just going to read this out to you guys because it's pretty funny. We address the zombies you don't even see that will keep you from your outcome, aka your inner a-hole. It fits, right? But we give you a tool, not just to eliminate the a-hole, that's developed specifically for this program. That's developed specifically for what we talked about. That allows you to ensure that even in an emotionally overloaded state, you can be making decisions by design rather than decisions by default. You could be overloaded and still choose. We're going to also give you one more thing. We're going to give you a map that allows you to create your projects, your goals, and actually triage all of these side quests for this goal that you just chosen. You may notice as I was explaining the goal, I was like, oh, this habit, that's a small project. As you can apply the 1% to that. So everything kind of is its own nesting doll situation. So let me be clear. If you're still watching this and you're not a client with us and you want to know about blind spots and you want to get a laser focused way to stay on track, join us in Mindset Mastery. Right now it's free. It won't be free for long, but it's free. Shoot me a message if you want to join. If you are a member with us, look for the follow-up training in a few hours in our Volley Mastermind. We're going to get into all the stuff I described. We're going to get into the mathematics. We're going to get into the specific tactics to remove a lack of clarity. We're going to get into how to feel the best as you navigate your day. We're going to show you the tool to make decisions on demand if you haven't used it already, how you can apply it to this situation, and how to stay focused and still account for all of the distractions. So that's it, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this training. This has been a month in development. And my belief, for what it's worth, is that this, if you don't absorb anything else on this channel, absorb this. This can change your life. All right, guys, signing off. I will see you all later. Have a good rest of your day. Have a good rest of your week. Have a good rest of your month. And get 37 times more this year. Take care.